Archery sure has come a long way. It all started with recurves, wooden arrows, and a handful of broadheads to choose from. As time moved on, the introduction of compound bows, aluminum arrows, and more advancements of heads evolved. The Brossmans have always enjoyed the sport of archery and the thrill of bow hunting. One man in particular enjoyed all of these, but never ever shot an animal with a stick and string. Crossbows, yes, but never archery gear. Pop has owned an old Jennings shooting star. When he passed, the bow was kept in the closet. One day, Corey found the bow and noticed it was still in good shape. Story had it, he just liked being in the woods, but he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Corey sent the bow off to Mike's Archery, where Travis, Brian, and the gang tuned the bow up. They added a D-loop and a whisker biscuit to help Corey be a little more accurate. And when it came back to Pennsylvania, Corey equipped the bow with aluminum arrows, an interlock slice, and of course, a luminoc. Now the luminoc will help Corey know where his arrow goes, in case he misses.
Pop-Pop's bow out, see if we can't make it happen. I was out a couple days ago with Brody, and it was his first time with a compound, and he missed a little spike. Nevertheless, it was fun and exciting. Feels really good to be out, so. Had a decent 8-pointer come through here, rated last night on a camera, and a bunch of does, so a lot of white oaks here. We'll see what happens.
Bow hunting is all about getting close. The idea of setting up a stand or blind in core areas, it's key to success. But scouting, utilizing trail cameras, making mock scrapes, even baiting where legal will all help put deer in your freezer. Now, Corey's plan for the season was to hunt his home state of Pennsylvania, where he had plenty of deer to choose from. All he had to do was put his hands on a legal buck with Pop's bow before heading out to Kansas.
Did you ever have one of those feelings that tonight's the night? I got that feeling tonight.
Jed States had taken a nice buck with his bow. A great self-filmed hunt that really got Corey excited to make the 21-hour trip. As Corey drove across the country, it wasn't too hard to think about how cool it would be to fill a Kansas with Pop's bow. The big issue was, Corey had limited his shooting to 25 yards and closer. And many of the deer seen in Kansas can be taken at longer ranges with crossbows and even his compound.
30th of October, my first sit here in Kansas. I spent a day or two ago with Terry and a blind turtle. I saw some bucks and a unique encounter with do you recall Blue? He must have got his antlers and some messed up in some baler twine or something. But I'm up here on this little, it's not really anything, it's just kind of a funnel. A little bit of corn out. Got a big milo field here to my left that usually holds deer, and before they cut it, we figured I'd come up here and see what we could do. Not gonna be picking tonight. If a doe comes in, I'm probably gonna shoot it because we'll lose this farm here shortly because they'll put cows in here. So it's a good spot to brush the dust off, and I'm gonna have a good time this evening. Hopefully see a few deer.
After arriving in Kansas, Corey began the task of setting up locations that would keep the deer in close. One particular farm that Corey loves had a particular buck hanging around that Corey really liked. Although the buck was only 3.5, Corey estimated him to gross close to 180. Back in September, both Corey, Jesse, and Brody began working on the farm in hopes this buck would show. Water was added to the farm, corn pile in a certain area to keep happy doe, and the food plots were kept mowed and pristine. After months of reveal trail camera photos, the big buck showed up and began visiting quite frequently. The guys knew this buck could be taken when the weather was right. Corey had a stand inside the bedding area where he took a 190 just 2 years prior. Now this stand is notorious for big deer at close range. The first week Corey arrived, he took to the field with Pop's bow, and well, he just had fun. As the trip went on, Corey became as one with the bow. Having deer around him wasn't a problem, but the standards began to get bigger, as that big deer was still around. Passing on younger deer up close isn't in Corey's vocabulary. However, it was almost like the bow was talking to him.
Back in the stand again. Got a really good deer on this farm that we've watched all year. He's been by this stand. I've got a review over here. He's been by this stand in the daylight, so we had the perfect wind. So I jumped out of one stand, jumped right back in another, so I put out some Black Widow, the matriarch, right behind me in this big opening. About a 5-yard shot if he comes in that way. Beautiful morning here in Kansas. Been a bit of a rough season for me. I really shouldn't say that. I had an opportunity at a really big buck. One of the first since. Passed up on an older deer. But I got Pop's bow and I'm gonna shoot one. In the words of Pop, I want it to be a wall hanger, but your standards slowly drop the longer you sit.
One particular morning, Corey thought the hunt would be over as a nice buck was heading his way.
Matt. I can't believe it. I couldn't get the bow over the railing, but I never dreamed they'd come in that way. That's a heartbreaker here, boys. I bet Pop's laughing his ass off right now. I'm crying.
But when the buck ran off, well, Corey could only imagine Pop laughing. Products seen on today's show can be purchased at mikesarchery.com.
Good morning. Just got up in a stand here in Kansas. This is my favorite spot. Before I got the camera hooked up, 2 doe walked right under me. This spot usually cranks up about 8:30, so see what happens, man. It's beautiful, cool morning. The rut is wide open. Been having so much fun. There's 2 good bucks on this farm I'd love to see come in that opening right there. I can get a shot with Pop's bow.
One cold morning, Corey headed back to the stand. A few deer passed by early, and then a giant rack was spotted, heading his way.
Brett. Got him. We did it, boys. I think I got him. It looked really good to me. What a big buck. That's the one we came in after. Watched him all year on them reveals. This morning, there's Black Widow V on that branch right there. He sniffed it. I'm sorry I didn't get a ton of footage. This is a big old buck.
After going back to the house and gathering up Jed and Jesse, they watched the footage and all agreed the buck wasn't too far away. They headed back in, grabbed the gear from the stand, and picked up the blood trail.
There's the arrow.
Yeah, a little bit.
I didn't get...
I think you got dang near all the way through.
That's probably where I got into.
Yeah.
And then that shoulder came back.
Dude, you're through him.
He only went about 20 yards so far.
I want to help you with that. So that blood right there?
The blood down the pec.
Can you pick this right?
I see the belly. He didn't go 35 miles.
Oh my god.
Holy smoke. Pop off the bone, baby. Oh my god. Jesse.
That's a tank.
He only went about 35 yards.
Yeah, I don't know if he went that.
Interlock slice, baby. My biggest bow kill with a compound by far. And I did it with pop-pops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. An 11-pointer. And serious mass, big body, just a beautiful buck.
As you can see, emotion's running high. Now, many of us hunt each year with conventional equipment like a compound bow. Some of us poke fun at crossbow hunters. Why, I ask? Aren't we all in this together? Corey learned quick that he could only shoot 25 yards or closer with his bow. Should he poke fun at you with a new compound? No, he should not. As long as you're hunting within the legal guidelines, go have fun. Don't get online and poke fun at your fellow sportsmen. I'm going to leave you with this. We all have lost a special someone that we shared the woods with. I encourage you, go find their old favorite bow or rifle or crossbow and just hold it and shoot it, and maybe take it to the woods one more time in their honor. I promise it will talk to you.